The countdown right on your screen. We are just hours away from an unprecedented teacher walkout across the state of Arizona.
Everywhere you look, people crowd around the Arizona State Capitol, ready to hit the pavement and send a message.
Yeah, deep red district in Arizona has some Republicans kind of scrambling this morning. Debbie Lesko kept the seat vacated by Congressman Trent Franks in Republican hands, but her 5-point margin of victory pales in comparison to President Trump's 21-point victory in the district in 2016 and Mitt Romney's 25-point win in 2020.
We saw those officers in riot gear using tear gas and pepper spray.
And for many, this is the first time they truly feel empowered.
Power to the youth!
And they feel unstoppable.
People are realizing the power that they really have.
The thousands.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm double majoring in computer science and criminal justice. I'm the team lead for this project, and I've been involved in EPICS for about a year now.
My name is Kiana, and I'm majoring in computer science and minoring in justice studies, and I'm the finance chair of the team, and I've been on this team for a year now. And our last team member is Pratik. His major is informatics, and he is minoring in political science, and this is his first semester on the team.
Throughout our project, we have found that there are mainly two types of people, either that they're engaged with politics and don't have a easy and reliable access to local political news, or that they're not interested at all, causing them to be unaware of how important local politics is and affects their lives. Our goal with this mobile application is to address those issues and solve this, educating and engaging users.
In the past, we have not had an official community partner, although we did work with Councilwoman QB briefly last semester. This semester, we've begun working with Congressman Ruben Gallego's office. Although District Director Luis Heridas, who we talked to, Sandra is our main point of contact with the office. So far, they've offered great advice on app features and things to consider, and will continue to work with us in the future to conduct user testing on our prototypes. We have found through user interviews that people feel uninformed about local and state news. Essentially, information about local news and politics is less accessible and harder to find than national news. Therefore, there is a disconnect between politicians and voters at a local and state level.
Our primary stakeholders are voters and politicians. So voters are anyone who is eligible to vote, and that can include people who are registered and those who are not, and they really need accessible and easy to digest information. And politicians need to give information to constituents in order to fulfill their jobs and gain support for re-election. In order to make informed decisions about our product, we decided to do a literature review and some preliminary user research. In the literature review, we found that internet exposure is positively related with political efficacy. So political efficacy is the idea that your vote and your opinion matters, and therefore it motivates people to get involved in politics. And we thought that due to this research that our app would be a good tool in order to encourage people to get involved in local politics and feel like their voice matters. And in our user research, we had 39 respondents and 11 in-person interviews, and we found that 40% of people were not involved to somewhat involved in local politics, and 56% of people did not feel informed on their local politicians' actions.
So when looking at existing solutions, we found that there are two different types. There's those that provide information, and there are those that want you to engage and get people more involved. Here's some examples of some of the more engaging solutions that we found. So ResistBot allows you to text it and it'll tell you your officials, and then you can text messages that will be given to your representatives. iCitizen provides a way to engage with politicians within the app, so you can call them and email them and take daily opinion polls that are then delivered to your representative. In terms of informational solutions, here's a few examples. Countable gives summaries on bills and how representatives vote on them, and Dollarocracy tracks candidates' money and who donates to them.
The impact of our project stems through various reasons, Politically, voter turnout in this country is extremely low, and we believe that that does not benefit anyone. We aim to increase the awareness of politics and significance of voting at any level, especially locally. Technologically, social media has a crucial significance in politics recently, and we would like to incorporate that into our framework. It must be easier for people to hear from the social media accounts of representatives and respond accordingly. Our application serves as a one-stop shop. It's a reliable source of a wide variety of information all on one platform. And economically, we want it to be a free platform with to allow anyone with a mobile device to be able to educate and aware themselves.
So these are our requirements for our mobile application. First and foremost, we want to have a simple and clean user interface because we want to encourage people to continue using the application. And if things are not simple and clear, they will likely get frustrated and not use the app. We also want to provide accurate and up-to-date information on politicians and their actions because a lot of times things are time sensitive, and we want to make sure that people are really getting the most out of using the application. Additionally, we want to allow users to follow their politicians and receive notifications, and we want to send notifications to the user according to their preferences. So this will allow people to really engage real time and see things as they happen. And then we also want to be able to categorize data based on type in order to provide the most efficient and organized data to our customers. In addition to our requirements, we do have a set of constraints. Our first constraint is funding. We are hoping to build a fully fledged mobile application that will give data to our users in real time. So this does require us to pay developers in order to develop this application. So we will need to find a source of funding to make this project a reality. Additionally, time is a constraint. Aaron and I are graduating this semester, so this does put a time constraint on us. As far as technological constraints, our team does not currently have the technical knowledge or capacity to develop the entire application ourselves, which goes hand in hand with our funding constraint. Additionally, the lack of transparency in politics is by design, so that will be a barrier to us getting all of the information that we may need. And finally, political knowledge is a constraint. We do not have all of the political knowledge necessary to implement this app, which is why our community partner does come in handy for us. And additionally, our users don't have extensive political knowledge, so we need to make sure that we give the data to them in a way that is easy to digest for the common person who is not super active in politics.
Before we go more in depth on the app features, here's a brief outline. The users will input their address and the app will then provide the user with their representatives that they can choose to follow. Our app has a news feed and a social media feed, as well as information about the representatives and how they are voting.
We want our application to host many unique and different features for our users to be able to interact with. Upon logging into the application, the user will be able to see all of their representatives based on geographic location, so they can actually choose who they would like to follow, and by default it will select all of the representatives in the area. We'll also feature an actions feed, which will have immediate access to what the representatives have voted on and how they have voted on that particular bill. You will also be able to like or dislike that specific bill to show a sort of popularity among users of the application, and also a news feed that will show recent articles about your elected officials. You will also be able to see a live social media feed from Twitter, Facebook of your representatives, kind of what they've been up to, and then also a profile page of these candidates, more information about them, any upcoming events, contact information, just to seek more information about your elected official.
This semester we focused on designing a clickable prototype and conducting user testing. We spent the first month working with Louise and Sandra in order to finalize the app features. From there, we created a paper prototype and then a clickable prototype, which was used for user testing in order to gather feedback on the app design and its features.
So we conducted a focus group on April 10th with our clickable prototype, and this consisted of some college students at ASU who were recruited via our friends group and also through the Barrett newsletter. So our overall findings were that were very positive. A lot of the users did like the application. Some users did not like that all of the representatives were selected to follow by default, while others did not seem to care at all. And then we got positive feedback on the newsfeed and social media feed. People also liked the action feed, though they wanted more information on bills in order to make more informed decisions. There was an interest in politician profiles showing party affiliation and policies in order to give the users more context. And as far as the idea of color coding political leanings of news sources, there were mixed reviews. Some users thought this would be useful, others thought that this would just further encourage them to only read sources that they agree with. So our plan for next semester is to start off with researching the backend implementation because this will be pretty important in terms of moving forward, and we will also start looking into funding in order to implement that backend. And then we also want to create a version 2 of the prototype by incorporating the feedback that we got at this past focus group, and then we would like to conduct another round of user testing. After that, we want to develop the mobile application, and once the mobile application is fully developed, we plan to use marketing in order to lead up to the release of our app. We do think that the marketing will be really important because we need a solid group of users in order to make the app interactive and fun for everyone. Thank you for watching.